warm welcome to Public Global. I'm Neelu Vyas. Congress has accused Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh of hiring one of Pakistan's official lobbying arms to advance its interests in the United States, alleging that the organization had once again betrayed national interest. Now, RSS has denied the allegations. And what Sunil Ambekar, who's the RSS leader, has written on X that Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh works in Bharat and has not engaged any lobbying firm in United States of America. Now, before this, Congress General Secretary Jairam Ramesh had claimed on X that the RSS had spent a significant amount of money to engage the American law firm Squire Patton Boggs to lobby on its behalf in the US. And this lobbying firm has also represented Pakistan. This is what was alleged by Jairam Ramesh. And just a few days ago, RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat admitted that RSS isn't a registered organization and does not pay taxes. And now we learn that RSS has engaged one of Pakistan's official lobbying arms to espouse its interests in the US. Now, what Jairam Ramesh also has pointed out that this is hardly the first time that the RSS, with its long record of betraying the freedom movement, opposing Mahatma Gandhi and Mr. Ambedkar, and attacking the constitution and the national flag, has acted against national interest. It is a pseudo nationalist outfit. Now, this entire pandemonium started once the story was broken by an American media outlet called Prism, and they showed papers as to how RSS had engaged this US law firm. So we'll try and understand, and how does this story expose the duplicity of RSS. Joining me this evening is Professor Ajay Gudavarthi, who's the author and academician from Jawaharlal Nehru University. Thank you so much, Professor Ajay, for joining. And what are your first thoughts after seeing this story that RSS has engaged a US law firm? And mind you, in my introduction, I missed that out, that RSS has paid $330,000 to this US law firm for lobbying, which is equivalent to around 3 crore rupees. So yes, Professor Ajay, what would you say to this?
So I think we need some clarity. No, lobbying is a legitimate mechanism in American no, model of democracy, right? They have group interests model where group interests can register, and through registered bodies they can lobby with the policymakers. That's how it goes. So the question that we need to really ask, what is the necessity of RSS, which is a national organization working in India, to lobby with policymakers in United States? So what exactly are they lobbying for? That is a question that is not yet clear, that what is it that they're lobbying for. The only thing that is available in the public domain really is that they're saying we are lobbying to better the international image of the RSS, that generally it is known as a far right Hindu fascist military kind of an organization. We want to move away from that image to kind of a cultural organization. So why do you have to lobby with policy makers in United States about this kind of initiative? So that is the tricky part. I think lobbying is fine, and also they're not lobbying in their own name because they're not a registered body here or international or in India. They're lobbying through other, there are various names that are floating in the public domain, which is again, something that that then leads to a lot of financial issues. How did this financial transaction happen and all of that? But I'm more on the political front, that why does RSS now feel this compulsion of bettering their image internationally? In other words, through an international global image of RSS is aligned more towards far right. People in United States, the liberal progressive lot generally assume RSS is an organization that is formed on the lines of Mussolini and Nazi kind of an organizations. Is it that kind of an image which they are trying to better? And therefore, we need to ask the question that why did they end up with this kind of an image? That is a question that RSS needs to ask itself. That if there is no link to that kind of working in India, why would they end up with that kind of a far-right militant when they claim to be a cultural organization? And where is the need for secrecy? Why should all these, including lobbying and their activities in India? RSS is known to be a semi-secretive organization in India. So the fundamental question that we should, Nilu, link it back to Indian context is that the same secrecy is followed in the Indian context. When you're a cultural organization, you need to be in the open public domain. Why are you not a registered organization? Why do you not pay taxes? Why do you not declare where you get funds from? Who are your leaders? Who are your registered, cadre? In what capacities do they work? And there are so many shadow organizations. That book on shadow armies clearly reveals which there is no public accountability. So can we afford to have a cultural organizations without public accountability in India? That is the question that is really at the heart of this debate.
Right. But apart from this, does the story not bring out something which is very murky about the financial transactions of RSS? And this story has brought that into the spotlight, that financially they are not transparent. I'm sure they are getting donations from corporates, from elsewhere, maybe some international funding as well. But when it comes to the opposition, they start pointing fingers saying that, okay, this particular agenda is George Soros funded. So, what are the questions which now the opposition should be asking here?
Yes, that is a key part. That when if you want, the point again comes back to this. If RSS is right in legitimate in asking opposition or anybody, all of us as at individual level to be legitimate, pay our taxes on time, the simple question that opposition needs to raise is that should RSS not be part of that law? Should RSS not be an exemplar and demonstrate and say? But RSS is saying, when Mr. Mohan Bhagwat was asked this question, why are you not registered? He is saying Hindu Dharam cannot be registered. So we are all Hindus too. You are Hindu, I am a Hindu. So why should we be registered and paying taxes? Why should we not as Hindus also enjoy an unregistered existence? But you're asking Kagas Dikhao, you're asking SIR is about details and documents, about SEA is about documents. All of us in demonetization had to produce document where our income comes from. So the logic that opposition really needs to build without getting lost in the technicalities of US lobbying and all that, which will be lost on Indian people, is this simple question that if you are right in demanding accountability of others, all citizens in India, why is it that BJP and RSS in this country act as if they are above law, act as if that they need not be accountable to anyone, that they equate either themselves, their organizations with Hindu Dharma, their leader equates himself to being non-biological. I mean, is this healthy in a democracy? Can we afford to have a public organization which is above all law? If you have no registered, that is why most of the crimes when they happen, when public investigation happens and people trace it back to people linked to RSS clearly disowns them. So I think one way RSS has to be at the heart of this debate is that the demand in parliament tomorrow should be that RSS should be a registered organization. If they are unwilling to register, and unwilling, it means that they have something to hide. The question is, why are they a semi-secretive organization being a cultural organization? Semi-secretive means you're hiding something. What is it you're hiding? When you're working in national interest, when you're working in the interest of Hindus, when you're working in the interest of the nation, what is there to hide? Did Gandhiji hide anything?
No, but are we going to get answers on all these counts, Professor Ajay? Because Sunil Ambekar has come forward, he's denied everything. I'm sure there'll be a lot of opacity maintained, even though the opposition continues to ask questions. So, how does one get to know? There is so much of opacity that we can't talk about financial transparency at all with RSS, or maybe even ask BJP on that.
Absolutely. That is the whole logic of electoral bonds was that they legitimized and legalized what was otherwise known as corruption. What was corruption? That you're taking money from big corporates and doing favors or transferring public assets. Once you legitimize that and legalize in the name of electoral bonds and say that we can take donations without revealing the names, so you really do not know what favors are being done. So one about electoral bonds is already a precedent. As far as RSS response, obviously they are not going to be accountable. They will fudge the whole logic and they'll give you these dodgy answers that we are not this, we are not that, we will deny that. But that what opposition really needs to pin, I think the debate that they need to carry out if they wish to take up this issue in the parliament is why should RSS not be a registered organization? Financial is only one part of it. In their entire activities need to be in public. So even routinely when their pracharaks offer routine bites to newspapers, you must have followed Neelu, whenever a pracharak is quoted, is anonymous. Why should a pracharak be anonymous when he's working in a locality, he's working in the welfare of people, he's going door to door? Why should a pracharak's name be anonymous? This is a demand that Congress should make. And this therefore also leads a question to the Congress party. Why did they not act on this for last 50 years when they were in power? Why did they let it go? These are the whole things that are now we are facing the consequences in Indian democracy. That it's like Mohini Basmasur ka haath ho gaya. Now they are putting the haath on Congress who patronize them. So Congress, there's something to introspect for Congress party also, that if you allow such unaccountability anywhere, it will come a full circle. And the same unaccountability at some point will also impact BJP and RSS.
No, but even if Congress wakes up now, can they not file a case? Is this matter not challengeable in the court of law? Can they not move to the court and ask questions so that the entire country know about it?
Legal procedures are based purely on evidence and paper trail. There will be no paper trail in this. You have 10 organizations which are co-represented by RSS. By the time you trace the trail, either the evidence will be destroyed or you will not be able to link it back to any organization. See, RSS doesn't work in those formal terms where you have signed papers by them. Some head of the organization signs a paper and says they are lobbying. It is all done through pseudonyms. So how are you
This
going to legally?
No, but Professor Ajay, this American media, Prism, which has done that story, they have shown proper vouchers and all which have been signed, and the documents are part of that story. So, how can RSS destroy those papers? Because the documents which have been shown and exposed by the American media outlet Prism, even it is part of the federal filings, because that lobbying was happening before the House of Representatives and the American Senate.
But does it fall then under the jurisdiction of Indian courts? Something that transpired in the United States. All you can demand is that where did this money come from to RSS, and why is it not considered a Hawala transaction? How is it any different from Hawala transaction? If an RSS is lobbying in international, who paid money here, and how did this money get transferred into the accounts of those lobbying companies? This can be a legitimate question one can ask, which perhaps is a legal issue that one can fight a battle in the courts. But I think our focus should be more on the political. Now, I don't think this is a time for you to fight. You might fight a legal battle. But the political battle that people need to be educated is that should RSS itself not be, owning up its accountability? Why do they often dodge accountability? And this again goes back to majoritarian psyche. At the heart of it, Nilu, is the kind of politics we have seen witness in this country in the last 10 years. That majoritarianism simply puts this logic that you are above law. Hindus are above law. Somebody is above a law up before you. Somebody else is not accountable. So this hierarchical relation, which is anti-democratic. Democracy, you are all equal before law, eyes of the law. That is a principle of rule of law. In this, every organization claims it's above law. So that is the campaign that we need to really run and show that this unaccountability makes everyone vulnerable. Financial account is only one small part of it. The very
Absolutely.
fact that your RSS is having to lobby for its image, being a Hindu supermassist, is that is the controversy. People in Europe and US don't accept RSS because of this very thought process of being supermassists, that we are superior to everyone else. Here you are superior Aryan race, globally you are superior to Europe, everywhere we are superior. That is why their image has not taken this beating.
So basically, this story also challenges, of course, the financial opacity has been brought out, but apart from that, this story also has challenged RSS's supremacist behavior.
Absolutely. That I think is what is troubling them, that their lobbying has to be done because of supermasses. Another thing we need to argue is that this way of functioning is untenable. Look, you face someone like Trump. I think the immediate context for this lobbying is also, I think, a backdoor channel that Mr. Modi is opening through RSS, because the lobbying is happening with US policymakers. So I think the collapsed relation between Mr. Trump and Mr. Modi is what has necessitated this kind of backdoor opening of backdoor channel. Again, we need to ask this question: why did the working relation of Mr. Modi and Trump fail? Precisely because both are supermasses, both are intolerant, both lie. No, Trump has become they have faced, here they keep doing this, but today they have faced someone who is of their own ilk. He also tells lies. He one day says, "Mera wajah sab, because I stopped the Russian oil." Another day he says, "I stopped the India-Pakistan war." Third day he says, "I called up Modi." Modi says, "I never spoke to him." So RSS then should understand these methods look good when you are powerful. Telling lies, cheating, acting clever by half, being lawless, being powerful. But then somebody is more powerful then does the same to you. That is why things are unworkable. That is precise reason why India has ended up friendless. When Pakistan attacked India in Pahalgam, we were friendless. No nation came forward in international fora to support us. Why? Because world is a cooperative order. If you think I am superior, my Vishwaguru, I will not listen to anyone. Then you have a bigger leader like Trump. Now, why? There's nothing that we should hold a grudge. He is playing in his national interest, and everything he does is justified. Why should you go and lobby? So this is untenable. Everybody thinks our interest is supreme, and we don't care for anything else, which is what RSS definition of nationalism is. This crisis proves that this is an untenable model. That is why India doesn't have a sustained foreign policy. In the name of national interest, you keep taking knee-jerk reactions. Once Trump started blowing hot and cold, you ran to China. Which China you said 1 year back is our prime enemy.
Will this be ever exposed, that what is RSS lobbying for? For whom is it lobbying? Is it lobbying for Adani? Is it lobbying for itself? Is it lobbying for Modi? Because already the world has seen the collapse of relations between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Modi. So a whole lot of questions arise. That is it lobbying? I'm sure it's Mohan Bhagwat is not lobbying for himself. I'm sure he's working as some kind of a mediator between Modi or Adani and then Trump. Is it? Does it not go to show this?
Yes, the whole Hindenburg crisis is still lurking deep, right? The Hindenburg report is still lurking deep. So we really do not know what the lobbying about. They're only, as of now, in public domain saying this is to correct their image, but there must be much deeper channels that they're opening, because many policy makers in United States are also lobby for corporate bodies. There again, it is legitimate to be lobbying for certain like South Korea also has a similar model of. So they must be lobbying in terms of corporate linkages. All that is up for speculating. Whether we will finally come to know, whether some policy maker there will come in the open and say that this is what we have been approached for. All this will be up for. Recently, the historian Andrew, who writes on Hindu, that historian has been approached by this company to offer her comments on RSS. She refused to offer because she said you are not a registered company. So some of these things will now start flowing in the public domain. But as far as the Indian opposition is considered, I think they have to compete on the core aspect without getting lost on the technicality. Often the opposition gets lost in this technicalities. You did that, then people don't really follow. I think people have to be communicated why this model of governance, not only at the national level but also in international level, is unsustainable. That is why our foreign policy has been wavering. And today you said that you were close to America and you're going to benefit. But today we are seeing, he's breathing down Mr. Modi's neck, and that whole Russian oil crisis began, tariffs 50%. All this is, you cannot not own up responsibility. It is your majoritarian political way of moving which has landed India in this current crisis.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a whole lot of questions which need answers, but whether we will get it, we do not know. But I'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Professor Ajay, for joining on the Public Global. Thank you.
Thank you.